Backyard Bee Builder here. I just have a couple things I wanted to go over in this video, talking about beekeeping resources that new beekeepers should get into before they get a hive, or as soon as they can. I have a couple friends and family members that have gotten into beekeeping without really doing a lot of research on it and without learning a lot. And because of that, they got into it and they were unsuccessful. Within the year, they either lost their whole investment, they lost their bees, or they just gave up. They decided they didn't want to do it anymore because they didn't enjoy it. And I just feel like if they would have had the knowledge and really educated themselves before they got into beekeeping, they could have been successful at it. So this is definitely something that's really important for beekeeping. Myself, before I got into beekeeping, I did a lot of reading. I did a lot of research because I knew that beekeeping was not a cheap hobby. It can actually get quite expensive once you get into it. It's really fun. For the first couple years, you can expect just to have really expensive honey, but and that's really, when you get into beekeeping, it's really about the love of the bees. And that sounds really funny, but once you start doing it, you'll start to love it. So the number one resource I recommend for new beekeepers is actually this book, Beekeeping for Dummies. And I'm not selling it. It's just something you can get off of Amazon or eBay or wherever it is you buy your books from. But this is the book that I got recommended to me by a beekeeper, and it was just a really good resource. It makes it really simple. Starting out in beekeeping, it can get overwhelming. There's a lot of words that are thrown around that you don't quite understand, and terminology. And so if you can read this book, it is really helpful. What I would recommend, and this is what I did before I actually got any hives or anything, I went through this book completely. And I'm not talking like just skimmed through it. I actually went through every page. I underlined the things that I felt were important, and kind of got a game plan for what I wanted to do with my hives, because I wasn't going to throw a huge investment into these bees just to have them die because I didn't know what I was doing. So this gives really good general information, easy to understand, and it has a lot of graphs in it that are really important that I really liked. And some of it, a lot of these basic things I'll probably be going over in my videos just to help explain them a little bit better. But that is a huge resource I would definitely recommend for new beekeepers. Now another one that I've used is actually this, the Beekeeper's Handbook. And I really like this. This is a little bit more complex than Beekeeping for Dummies. But I kind of use, this is my go-to book, you know, but I feel like this doesn't give, if I feel like this doesn't give enough explanation for the why and the where, then I'll go to this book that gives a little bit deeper explanation, but it's a little bit harder to understand, especially for newbies. So if you do want to start out, I would definitely start out with this one. If you get through this one and want to know more, then this is a great resource. Also, for new beekeepers, I would recommend that you download a Beekeeper's Calendar. And this is just one you can get off the internet. You Google it, you can find it anywhere. You want to make sure it is for your area, because obviously according to the different weather changes for the different area you live in, this Beekeeper's Calendar will actually tell you what to do each month of the year. So in January, there's certain things that you should be doing with your bees. In February, there's certain things that you should be doing with your bees. And the calendar will actually orient you to your location. Make sure it is for where you live, and so you're doing the right things. This is really helpful because really when you're starting out, you just don't know what you're supposed to be doing, and this helps give you a good guide. Another huge resource that I really enjoyed was getting to be part of a bee club. Now, if you search for them, you can find them. They're just about everywhere. If you can get into a beekeeping club, there you can find a mentor. Mentors are so essential, and that's part of the reason why I'm trying to do this video, is that so I can actually help teach new beekeepers, because I want you guys to be able to succeed and try to learn. I had an awesome mentor, a couple of them that were really, really helpful, and I truly credit them for my success. But a lot of it too is researching, learning for yourself what you need to know before you get into beekeeping, so that you don't make stupid mistakes that are easily avoided. But being part of a beekeeping club is a huge help, because you can bounce your ideas off of people. Also, you can get to know people in your area that are beekeepers, and most beekeepers are more than welcome to come over, peek into your hive, kind of give you some advice, and help you out if you need it. Another big thing is there's a lot of Facebook pages out there that have to do with beekeeping, and they have really good advice. The reason why I like those is because people will get problems with their hives, and they'll come to the Facebook page and post about it, and then people will give advice on it, how to deal with mites, how to deal with weathering your hive, and you'll get different opinions and different advice. Just be wary, and this goes for YouTube too. There's a lot of good information on YouTube, but you have to be wary about the advice, because not all of it is accurate. I would definitely try to do some research on your own, because there's some people out there that will post things or explain things, but they haven't actually done the research on it, and so they can lead you astray. But usually, if you get more than one opinion on it, and more than one people are agreeing with it, then it's usually it's good advice that way. So that is my advice for the different resources that you can use as a beginning beekeeper. I hope that you enjoy bees and you really learn to love them, because that's really part of the fun. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to comment below. And I would love to hear if you have other resources that you enjoy. I love reading articles. I love reading books on bees, and just learning as much as I can. And so if you have some recommendations, I'd love to hear them. So this is the Backyard Bee Builder. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.